Alright guys, what's going on? So, we just got back from the theater and we watched the latest superhero movie, which is, of course, would be Teen Titans Go!
What are you doing?
Just giving the people what they want.
So the movie, very sophomore jokes in the movie. Any plot twists that are added, we see a mile away, and it is the most fun I have been in a movie theater in a long while. I actually loved the wild ride that came with this movie. Alright, so just to let you guys know, so anytime I mention the words Teen Titans plus the word Go, I hear so many groans, and I understand. And to be honest, I really loved the original Teen Titans series. It was a very fun series. I enjoyed it. I remember when it first came on, and people weren't liking it because it wasn't like Batman the Animated Series. The show took a while for it to grow into people, but then, people started enjoying it. Had a 5-year run, and then Cartoon Network decided to bring it back, but they changed the style and it became more of a comedy show instead of like a teen superhero show that everyone knew and loved. And especially the fact that this was the show that replaced Young Justice, that made people really mad about that too. And so naturally a lot of people already have like negative connotations going with the show. Me personally, I like the show. It's very fun. It's not a show that I'm like, oh man, I need to see every episode. It's one of the shows I come home from work, I put it on the TV, I sit there, I laugh, I don't pay too much attention to it. It's something more of the background.
It's about us, the Teen Titans.
No one wants to see us, fool.
As for the movie, it was hilarious. It was something, going into it, I didn't have that high of expectations. To be honest, I was kind of like, alright, this is going to be one of those, just kind of movies that oh, okay, there's nothing really else going on. I was like, alright, let's go see Teen Titans. Like the show. And it really just surprised me. I laughed harder in this movie than I did in both of the Deadpool movies combined. Just to let you know, the way that this movie doesn't take itself seriously, in which I really love, they have no problems with making fun of itself, and they reference, everything. In fact, at the beginning, they'll show, the DC logo, and they show, the DC heroes, and it's actually in the style of, the Teen Titans, which is actually pretty cool. And then, right after that, they start, flipping through comic pages like the Marvel logo does, and you're just, you see that it's actually, just them, just reading through a comic, which I really liked. So we get a lot of Marvel references, which is actually really cool. Something I was kind of expecting, especially since what I saw from the trailers. They had a big joke in the trailer how Slade looks like Deadpool, and if you guys know the comic book origins of Deadpool, that's where they got. They actually got his designs from Slade or Deathstroke or whatever, or Terminator, whatever you want to call him. So
tell you a little something about Deadpool. My name is Slade Wilson. His name is Wade Wilson. My costume rocks, and his is just a cop.
We get references to just a lot of things that I was not expecting. We get references to classic 80s movies that when you see it and you hear the music, you'll know exactly what it is. We even get 80s songs, which was incredible. Got me pumped up from that. And, I swear, they put this just for me. We even have a Ninja Turtles reference in the movie, which was just hilarious. Just did not see that coming. It's really funny, just so many things that they put into this. Your typical Teen Titans humor is also in this movie. We get the fart jokes.
He farted.
That wasn't a fart. That was just air leaving my butt.
Which is a fart.
We get, just those kind of, weird songs that they'll start singing. From the energy, from the beginning to the end, it never lets go. It keeps it there. It is like really fun. So this movie like really reminds me of like Deadpool, because there's a lot of fourth wall breaking, and they have no problems on pointing out like even the like not even the flaws from like other like franchises that they like to point out. Especially they have this whole sequence between Batman and Superman with the whole mother name, you know, Martha and everything. They make that reference. But they have no problems with like making fun of themselves with the flaws, even from Teen Titans Go.
Wow, totally forgot I saw the Teen Titans Go film trailer. That should tell you something.
For me, this was like an animated version of like a Deadpool movie, which I loved. Like, you know, and since this movie's like aimed for kids, like it makes the jokes like that much better, because they have the limitation of like of no cursing, no swearing and that kind of stuff, and they pull it off really well, like extremely well. Like everybody in the theaters, the parents, the children, even my wife is just cracking up at everything that's being said, and like they hit the jokes really good, and that's like I said, I just was not expecting that at all from this movie. So speaking of Deadpool, like, you know, we mentioned that they bring Slade into this movie. So in the original series, Slade, he was like the main enemy in the first 2 seasons, and then like, you know, then he, you know, came back in like season 4, kind of all weird. Now I believe this is the first time Slade has been in Teen Titans Go. Like I said, I haven't seen every episode of Teen Titans Go, and I'm not planning to like watch them all right now. Like, you know, like I like the show, but I'm not like oh, I need to catch it all. But I believe this is the first time we actually had Slade, and he's actually voiced by Will Arnett, who does a fantastic job. This Slade, just like the Teen Titans from Teen Titans Go, very silly, very comical. His power is mind manipulation, which basically he just kind of like tells the Titans, "Hey, what's that over there?" And they turn around and he gets away. Like, and now I will say, like, some of the parts in this movie you see like come in like a mile away. Like, so some of like the reveals and the plot, everything, you see it coming. And in fact, at one point they pointed out, they're like, yeah, I kind of saw this coming from when we first started, which I really liked. I really like that it's kind of like self-aware on about that. Some parts are like, they almost seem like segments, and they kind of like put like the segments together into like this long overarching plot, because you'll see like things like where like the Titans are like, oh hey, we got to do something, and like that something gets resolved like within like 5 to 10 minutes, but there's still like something just overall just to kind of like link it all together. And I think that's from the nature of the show. Even though it does have those kind of segments, I never felt like there should be like a break, like you know, oh, here's a fade in, fade out moment. Just only some parts where I kind of like, all right, you know what, I can see where they can cut this and make this into its own episode. The characters themselves, if you have been watching Teen Titans Go, it's basically the same characters. They are, you know, they're obviously over-exaggerated versions of themselves that from like the original series, where like, you know, nothing they do is ever serious. Is like it's more of a joke, and some of the things they do is just like over the top. They have some like in your face references where it's like, hey, did you see this? Did you see this? But then like we get a lot of like references that's like very subtle, that's like in the background, that it's kind of like you really have to like pay attention. Like, actually, one of my favorite things is that we see Cyborg has a VHS tape that they're going to show to Robin, because the Four Titans, they decide to make Robin like his own movie, since so basically the plot, like, because the overall plot of this movie is that Robin wants his own movie,
Powers, it's having your own movie.
We see Cyborg, he has a VHS tape, and on the VHS tape, there's actually like a line crossed out on the end of label where it says Young Justice. I thought that was just kind of like hilarious how they kind of like just did that there, especially like the fact that like, you know, Young Justice actually got like replaced with the show, and it's almost like they just want to like, you know, it's like, oh, we're really aware of that. But like I said, like if you look in the background, you'll see like other things. Like there's a car rental place that's called like Rent a Getaway, in which I thought that was like really, and like it's just like in the background, like, you know, it's one of those, you blink you'll miss it. And then also we also have some characters, some background characters who most of them don't have lines and everything. They're just kind of like there. They don't get too much attention to, but like it looks like every character that was in Teen Titans before, like, you know, like Aqualad and Plus and Minus and Kid Flash, you kind of just see them like in the background. They don't actually talk much, but it was actually like a cool little reference that you just it's one of those, you just got to keep your eyes open. And then just the line that came out of nowhere where like kids are probably not going to get it unless if like their parents are cool, like, you know, I'll be a cool parent and do this, and I'll let my kids like watch Animaniacs, but like they see like the Warner Brothers Tower and they said, hey, that's where the Animaniacs live, and like Animaniacs has been like off the air for like decades, and like I know there's things like where people saying that Hulu's bringing it back, but they haven't brought it back yet. I believe all the show is on Hulu or it's on Netflix, one of them. I'm curious on how many actually like kids, especially for this target range, like know who the Animaniacs are. So just to let you know, when this movie starts, it actually doesn't start with the Teen Titans movie. We actually have a short, which is a DC Superhero Girls short. The style of animation and the character designs, they're not the same as the DC Superhero Girls that was on Cartoon Network and like has like the made for TV movies and that kind of stuff. They look a little different, especially like Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman looks completely different from that show. It's a funny short. I actually really liked it a lot, and what's actually really cool is that short was actually one of the executive producers was Lauren Faust. If you guys don't know who that is the wife of Craig McCracken. And Craig McCracken and Lauren Faust, they created like one of my favorite TV shows, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. For all you My Little Pony fans out there, she also made My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I really enjoyed it. It's funny, I chuckled a little bit. But like I said, the main feature, Teen Titans, I mean, I was not expecting myself to love this movie as much as I did.
Because if Aquaman can get a movie, anyone can.
If you guys have seen like Teen Titans and you enjoyed like the original series, I would say give this movie a shot. If you like Teen Titans Go, you will love this movie.
Watch me.
If you're one of those that didn't like Teen Titans Go and don't want to see anything from this movie, well, I'm sorry. This movie was great. I mean, and I don't know what I can do or say to make you like just give this movie a chance, because it really surprised me. In fact, I actually want to see it again because there's so many parts I laughed so hard. I missed some of the other jokes and I missed some of the other parts, and that's how much I enjoyed it. Like, it's great. I really recommend you guys to give it a chance. I don't think it's going to do that well in the box office, mainly because, you know, it's competing with Incredibles 2 and Hotel Transylvania 3, and next week Christopher Robin's coming out, so like I'm pretty sure it's going to get lost in the shuffle, which is such a shame just because this just came out really great. So the quirkiness of Teen Titans Go does show in this movie, and there's actually some really cool sequences from that I actually really like. So there are parts where like the Teen Titans they started like breaking into just random songs, and with the random songs they go into the random animation. There's some like dream sequences, some even like movie sequences where they go into like these different animation art styles. It's actually really nice. It just adds to it, just adds to the randomness, which I actually really liked in there. There's one part where they spoof a very classic Disney film, and they go into like that Disney animation style. It's hilarious. It looks great. It looks like it does look like it would be like, hey, if DC was a Disney animated movie, like the whole like the sequence like comes out exactly the way, like once you start recognizing what movie it's referencing to, you immediately know what's going to happen, and it still adds to the humor. That part was like really funny, and I really liked the attention to detail that they did to make it like Disney-fied. That was actually really cool. So in this movie, we get Slade. So we get Slade in this movie. Now, Slade is not voiced by Ron Perlman in this movie. Ron Perlman, he did the voice of Slade in the series. This time, he's actually voiced by Will Arnett. The funny thing is that Will Arnett actually voiced Batman in the Lego Batman movie, which I think it's kind of funny how he went from voicing Robin's mentor to now voicing Robin's arch nemesis. That's actually kind of like a little funny turn of events. Will Arnett just really adds to the humor. The Titans themselves, they're voiced by their original voice actors from the Teen Titans series, the original, and Teen Titans Go. I wouldn't want it any other way. I wouldn't want them to celebrity cast these guys, because these are the characters that we know and love. I wouldn't want them to be replaced by any headliners.
Lights, cameras, and magic.
I'm the greatest, most ultimate supervillain the world has ever seen.
But we do have some celebrity cameos in there. We got Nicolas Cage actually voicing Superman. That's probably something he's been wanting to do, because I know he's a huge fan of Superman, and he tried to do the movie back in I believe it was in the 90s and never took off. His son actually voices young Bruce Wayne, and the funny thing about it is that I remember just how big of a deal it is, but he named his son Jor-El because of how much he liked Superman. So when you're reading the credits and then you read young Batman, I believe it says young Batman or it says young Bruce Wayne, whatever, it says voiced by Jor-El Cage. It's just funny how it goes in there. Some other Kristen Bell's in this movie. She voices Jade Wilson, who's the director of the superhero movies. I really like how they poke fun of the fact that they're making movies about every character, which is very true. We live in a world where comic book characters like Ant-Man and Doctor Strange and even Aquaman can get their own movie. I like the fact that they kind of poke fun at that, and they're showing look like everyone can get their own movie.
There been a movie about you?
There was a Green Lantern movie, but we don't talk about that.
That's a funny old joke. Another surprise stunt celebrity character they casted as a cameo role is actually Stan Lee. He just comes out of nowhere, and it is hilarious. And even his part is just really funny how he interacts and he plays up the whole cameo thing just from all the other movies. It's really fantastic. It was really funny seeing him over there. Even though this is a DC movie, I really liked seeing him there. And if Stan Lee could only be in one DC movie, I think this is the perfect movie for him to be in, especially with all the meta jokes and just the way that this movie comes out from all the meta jokes, and just the way that this movie just pokes fun at everything, especially what's going on with the superhero movies in this current time. Alright guys, so let me know down in the comments below if you guys actually watch Teen Titans Go, if you guys enjoyed the series. Let me know if you've seen the movie or you're planning to see the movie, or if I made you want to go see this movie now. I was not expecting this movie to be as fun as it is, and like I said, like, you know, I'm probably going to go back to the movie theater tomorrow to go see it, because that's how much I loved it. Alright, till next time guys, see ya. So we just got back from watching the latest superhero movie, which is Teen Titans Goes to the Moon. No, wait. No, sorry. Let me go back. We just got back from watching the latest superhero movie, which is, of course, Teen Titans Go to the Movies. That's right.